Hey, hi, hello, my name is dis.cat. This is Project Hardcover, where we're letting books be the escape. Librarian Cardigan, you know what that means. It's time for a book review. Yes, and today I am wearing a special shade of undershirt. This is what I perceive to be azure blue in honor of this very, very special book series. And that book series is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to shatter all of your minds right now. This has officially become my favorite book series of all time. And yes, I am including Harry Potter. And cue the shrill, unbelieving screams now. Yes, people, I do love this series more than Harry Potter. I know that sounds impossible. Trust me, it sounded impossible to me as well, but that's just a testament to how freaking amazing this series was. I did fully intend to review, like, the entire series in one video, but then I just realized I have way too many feels to talk about to get through all three of these freaking amazing books in just one video. So I'm, of course, going to be breaking it up into 3 parts. And naturally, this first part is going to be all about the first book, which is Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Like I said, I have a lot of feels to get through, so let's just get started. Alright, so this book is about a girl named Karu. Karu is an orphan, and she doesn't really know anything about herself. She doesn't know where she came from, how she came to be, or why she is the way that she is. She especially doesn't know how she came to be raised by a small group of chimera. For those of you who don't know what chimera are basically this mishmash of all different kinds of animals and creatures that exist as one being. So basically, a chimera could be the head of a lizard with the torso of a cow with the legs of a leopard thing. Yeah, it's funky. So she was raised by 4 chimera, the main one being Brimstone. So she lives in this little shop that Brimstone, works in. And this shop is kind of like a multi-universal portal. And he uses this shop to scavenge for teeth. Like all different kinds of teeth. Animal teeth, human teeth, it doesn't matter. And Karu, much like everything else, has no idea why. So the story is really about Karu trying to figure out more about herself, where she came from, why she's here, why Brimstone is collecting all different kinds of animal teeth, and why the strange angelic creatures that have just arrived in Prague, where she lives, are trying to hunt her down. So let me just start off by saying this. I had 0 expectations for this to be any kind of acceptable. I saw this everywhere on Goodreads, and every time I saw it, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so cliche, the whole demon girl and the angel boy and their insta-love and their forbidden romance and them, going against all odds to be together. Bullcrap. I'm like, it's gonna be so bad. This was especially furthered by just so many of the reviews for this book starting off with the writing was really good. Now, no offense, of course, this isn't true for every review, but just so many reviews that people give, or when you're talking about a book and you're trying to get someone to read it, when you start off with the writing was really good, that is so often for me meant that that was the only good part of the book. I, of course, could also be a little biased about this opinion, considering how I remember not too many years ago when I was reading a book and I was trying to convince people to read it, and I started out with, the writing is very good. Couple of quick guesses as to what I was talking about. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I was like, this is gonna be just not good. Let me just tell you, people, I have never been so ungodly happy to be so wrong. This book was spectacular. I know I say that about a lot of books, but just this destroyed every opinion I had about it before going into it. As I was reading it, just every time I formed an opinion, it just was just completely dismantled and was just like, no, you were so wrong. You were so wrong of just about all the things. Even when I got towards the end of the book and I'm just like, this can't get any better. This can't get any more amazing. BAM! Yes, it can. And first things first, the writing was amazing. I mean, when I talk about amazing writing, I usually jump straight to Marcus Zusak. And people are gonna say, well, do you like the way this is written as much or more as you like the way that Marcus Zusak writes? And my only way to explain it is that yes, I love it on the same level, but in a different way. When Marcus writes, the way Marcus writes, it's poetic, it's lyrical, it's musical, it sounds pretty. It's like someone is speaking a ballad to you the whole time, and it's just so fabulous. You guys know how I am about Marcus Zusak, that I can't articulate correctly into words how much I love his writing. But Laini Taylor's writing is different. Laini Taylor's writing is like a painting. Every time a word appears on the page, it's like she's making a brushstroke across the canvas, and her words are literally coming to life in front of your face. When she talks about Prague, when she talks about the amazing architecture and the way the snow is falling and the sun is hitting it in just the right way, you don't need to even try to imagine what that looks like. It just happens. It's like you open the book and you start reading, and then a little hologram appears and you see what's happening. I know so often us book readers encourage people to read because, oh, it's like a movie in your head. But this book takes that to just a whole new level. Even in the best books, with the best writers, there will be moments when they're talking about a scene that it's beyond their ability to make you see it. And that's true with every writer, I think. Every writer, despite how good they are, there are just some parts of their story, some scene they're trying to describe to you that it transcends the ability to explain. And I think that's true just with every writer. They'll want to explain some scenario to you, some action that a character is doing, and you just can't quite picture it perfectly in your head. There's some gap and you're like, well, how does this happen and stuff? And that's just true with every writer. There's so much that the human mind is capable of that just your mouth cannot do. But Laini Taylor does not have this problem. Again, this book is about chimera, and, there are all these different mismatches of different animals, and you would think that it would be difficult to imagine, a creature with the head of a lizard and the body of, like, an eagle and then the legs of a stag. You would think that would be like, wait, what? But no, I literally saw these things in my head, and it was just, it was so good. And then these characters, the story is told from third-person point of view, so it's not like we're actually seeing things from Karu's perspective or from anyone's perspective, but we still get different perspectives in the book. We get things from Karu's perspective, and then we get some things from Akiva, who is the angel boy in this book. We get stuff from his perspective, and then we get some stuff from Karu's normal little human friend's perspective. And the voices of these perspectives is just all so different, which is really astonishing when you're still talking in third-person point of view. When you're talking in third-person point of view, and you still get that Zuzana speaks this way, but Karu speaks this way, that to me is just fantastic. Fantastic. And these characters are relatable and realistic, which is also just mind-blowing. You're in this fantastical world with multiple dimensions, multiple different worlds, and yet the characters seem realistic. You really think that you could meet Karu just out in everyday life. And there's emotion, and there's depth, and there's just amazing plot intricacies. that you just don't see coming, and then the ending of this was just so surprising and shocking, and you weren't prepared for it, and it was so good. I was so wrong! Of course, as I mentioned, this series has now become my all-time favorite series, so of course this book is 5 out of 5 stars. I recommend to anybody who has it in their capability to read or be read to. Just, you need this in your life. And now it is time for me to bid adieu to my non-spoilery people, which I hope is like all of you. If any of you have anyone who hasn't read this, leave now, because you need to go and read it. You don't need to listen to me talk about it. So just say bye-bye, bye-bye, go in your car, go get it, read it, and then come back. And hello to my lovely friends who hopefully have all read this and just seen just how freaking amazing it is. So I know a lot of people who talk about this book, talk about how the beginning is hard to get into, the fantasy part of the book is hard to get into because of how slowly we're brought into it. And really, I just can't understand this. I mean, yes, it does take a little while to get into the real meat of the fantasy part of it. It does take a while for Akiva and his siblings to show up and start raising hell and stuff. But how? I was entrapped in this immediately. I mean, Karu herself, she's so intriguing. We know like nothing about her except for the fact that she works in an interdimensional shop with this thing that, based on what I perceive, looks like the devil, and she collects teeth for him. And much like everything else about her, she doesn't know why. That's just gripping right there. You want to know, why they're collecting teeth. That was me for like the majority of the book. Even throughout like all of the other just awesome stuff that was happening, I was just in the back of my mind, I'm like, why teeth? Why teeth? What are they doing with the teeth? What is up with the teeth? So I disagree with the whole, it takes a while to get into the story. It doesn't take a while to get into the story. It just takes a while to get into the fantasy part of the story. And then you have the action-y parts, and they were just so cool. That was amazing to see. Again, I had like zero expectations for this. So when I saw Karu, I was like, okay, she's a little intriguing and whatever, but watch her be all damsel-y. And then you find out that she's kick-ass. She's been shot like 3 times, and she don't care, and she can like slice you up with knives and stuff, and just beat your butt, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's so cool. And just overall, all of the characters in this book, you love them. Even her jackass ex-boyfriend, Casimir, you like Casimir. Whether you all want to admit it or not, you liked him. You were like, oh yeah, I can see why she started going out with him. Just, okay. And don't even get me started on Susanna and Mick. Like, just don't. They are, on their own, they're amazing people. Like, I swear, I think I would, like, give my kidney, one of my kidneys, to have these people actually physically exist and in my life. I need these people to be my friends. And then when you put them together, just, oh my god. I will admit, though, I started having my doubts. When Akiva shows up, and he's all gung-ho, I'm going to kill you, and they're in the alley, and she's sitting there, and she's pressed up against the wall, or on the floor, or wherever she is, and she's like, I'm gonna die right now. I thought I was gonna die when I got shot those 3 times that one time, but yeah, no, I'm gonna die right now. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't kill her, and then it starts talking about how there's this animal attraction and there's this intensity between them and it's like chemistry. I was like, oh, here we go. I was like, here it is. I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true. Here's the insta-love bullcrap. And yes, I was still reading the story and, I was still really into the story and I still did really, really like it and everything, but that insta-lovey stuff, it was getting to me. And we get to the end, and we find out, oh, wait, she was another person! Like, oh, she is a revenant, she was reincarnated from somebody else who was in love with him before, and that's why they're in love. Well, she's not really in love with him, not yet, but that's why the attraction is there, and I was like, yes, yes, yes! That is a beautiful thing, and it is something that I have never experienced before while reading a book, where I have a problem with the plot, or I have a problem with a theme, or the voice of a character, or something, and then the author just fixes it. I have never had that happen before, but it happened in this book. I had a problem with it. I'm like, this book is great. It is far too great for there just to be a thrown-in insta-love romance. It's too thought out and intricate for that. She could have done so much better. And then we get to the end, and she's like, hell yeah, I can do better. Are you kidding? And she fixed it. And I was just like, oh my god. And then the ending. When Akiva is just sitting there, and he's like, I messed up big time. And he just tells her, they're all dead. I destroyed everything. Like, you feel your entire organ system just drop to the floor. It was ridiculous. I did not see that coming, like, at all. I saw, like, a million different things, a million different possibilities. I didn't see that one. And then the thing about Eretz being behind the secret door, I knew there was something behind the door, and I thought that it might be, you know, super something secrety. I don't know what it was, but I didn't expect there to be an entire universe behind the door. So that was also just added intricacy that I wasn't expecting, and it was just so great. And then just the story of Madrigal and Akiva, and I mean, I usually hate when books do the whole, we're gonna go back and dump a whole bunch of information on you and give you more premise for everything. Even if it is good, I still just don't like the break in the story. I feel like it's always too disjointed. But in this case, I didn't. I loved it. I loved the story. I was like, oh, can we like have a whole separate book just about Madrigal's life? Because just, ooh, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved everything. Just everything about this. Everything. I wouldn't have changed anything about this. And this, guys, this is why I feel this way about this series. I will go into more detail with that as I explain the rest of the books, but just, oh, the feels I have about this are just, they're too strong for my body to contain. I'm still reeling over this series. There you go. That's just some of the feels. I have so many more. Just some of the feels I have about this amazing book. Seriously, people, this is spectacular. If some of you people who were questioning whether or not to pick it up sticked around for my spoilers, just disregard the spoilers. I'm one of those people where genuinely if I haven't started a book series or a book before and then I've been spoiled for a lot of it, I won't pick it up, but don't do that. Don't read this. Please, people, read this. You need this in your life. Again, this is like 10 out of 5 stars. Would recommend to anybody. Just people, you need this. You need this. So there you go. There's my review for Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I hope you guys stick around. I will be doing the next book in the series, which is Days of Blood and Starlight, very soon. Thanks you guys for watching. I will see you next time, and remember, books are the escape. It's blooper time. This mashes of different animals and creatures all... Really? Who do you think you is? You just think you somebody. Look, special appearance from Gigi. The I think I'm somebody cat. I'm doing something here. No respect. No respect at all. No petting. Come on. I'm working. You need to go. I'm gonna beat you up.